Welcome back to Money Monday, and welcome back to Parx Racing today as they get kicked off after a little summertime vacation there, Mr. Terry.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And they're back now, though.
Yes, indeed. They're back and running. So let's see what we can do at Parx today. Introducing a couple of new little things today here on Horse Racing Today, where we are putting in some contest picks along with what we call a new 1, 2, 3 pick 4, where we have one horse in one leg, two horses in another, three legs, three horses in another leg, four horses in the other. That's a hot dog. That's a $12 version. We're also having a no favorites 4. So a lot more to go today. And then a 20-30 horse. And I forgot about mine today, Terry. So you're going to be on your own because we're putting so many new things in, I forgot.
All righty.
But I'll figure it out as we go along the way. I'll know who I want to do. All right, so let's get started. We're a little bit behind today. Race number 1, we want to try to get through all the races before the third race starts for those competitions. So what's happening in race 1, Mr. Terry?
All right, in this first race, we're going to start out at a 6 furlong distance, claiming $7,500 claiming price, $21,000 purse for 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
Yes, and interestingly, Terry, if we take a look at that, 6 furlongs tends to favor horses with tactical speed. A bunch, 37, tend to go wire to wire. There is an inside to outside bias. The 10,000 simulations, we want to see which horses have the best chance to get to the lead. That's what you'll see here. And then based upon our projections, which horses will be running a race smack dab in the middle of their comfort zone that mirror their best performances. Here you see a Q30 score. This is what percentage of the querying points they get. 30 and above, especially with some early speeds, can be horses that go wire to wire. Par plus measures in our 10,000 simulations, how many times they ran a speed figure at par or better. 2,840 times. Neudorf hit 81 or better in our simulations. And of course, everybody wants value. So we're looking for horses with morning post time odds that are higher than our simulation odds. Terry, what does the data tell you?
Well, that 2 shows the most speed in here, followed up by the 6. But I think if the 2 gets a break, you should go to that front and probably lead all the way to the end of this race. And then the 2 has an overlay from about 3 to 5 to like 6 to 5. The 2 also has the only par plus number, and all but the 1 and 7 have C zones. And then the 2 has a 35% Q30 along with the 6.
So those are pretty big numbers there. Along with all of our simulations, we like to do trip handicapping. Very balanced race. 3 that want to be on the front, a pair that want to pressure the leaders, and another trio that wants to close. At the start of the race, where a bunch go wire to wire, Neudorf and Baracho Concho considerably quicker than everybody else. So those 2 should set the tone. The 4 horse is the E3 horse, or the third quickest, might be one you can X off your list. Late speed belongs to Sir Cupid, the 5 horse. But you got a trio of them in here that are pretty similar, all the closers. So you might want the closer that's the most forward. If that's your angle, that would be Sir Cupid. Our top total pace horses, usually the winner comes out of the top 4, about 72% of the time. Sir Cupid, the closer, Terry, is the one with the highest score. Did you go speed or did you go closer?
Well, I went with that speed horse, that 2 horse. I went with Neudorf. He won his last race at Parx Racing. Has a high percentage winning trainer. I like the 7 Scamp Walker. He ran a second versus similar in his last race and has a high percent winning trainer. I like the 6 Baracho Concho. He drops in class today. He has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Then I like the 5 as my long shot, Sir Cupid. He switches to a high percentage winning jockey, and he has high percentage. He hit Paco Lopez, and he has a high percentage winning trainer, Scott Lake.
So Jack of Trades is his other one. He's going to pass horse racing. He's got a lot of them in there. I can't even get like one Facebook account. I try to sign up on the weekend, but they wouldn't let me. Kind of funny stuff there. All right. I think the 2 horse 2 gets to the front. Terry Neudorfer is that Q30 horse in here that we see. Strongest chance to get to the lead. Usually pairs peak races. Last one was a peak, so the first of the 2 perhaps. Number 5, Sir Cupid. The workouts might be more important than usual at Parx considering the time they've got off. This one has the best workouts and gets Paco. Number 7, Scamp Walker, the third selection, should be coming on pretty strongly at the end. Did run some better fractions early on last time out, despite going longer. So maybe put those two together, and it's a winning effort. Then finally, Baracho Aconcho, class dropper that has the most recent back class in here. Going to catch a weight break as well. And that one is your morning line favorite right now. They're lining up for the first race at Parx. Looks like, well, the 6-horse scratched there at the end there, Terry. So he's not even in the race anymore.
Oh, wow.
So we have the next up for me on my list would have been the 8-horse, the Great Pumpkin, which I know our good friend Horse Racing 2024 is a big fan of. So I'm going to put the 8 here for me. What about for you?
Be the 1-horse, Liberty Runner.
All right. So that's what it looks like right now for race number 1. They're all lined up except for the 8-horse. Hearing Jessica Paquette back in my ears. So they should be ready to go as they've gone to the wide angle. It does look like the 2-horse is your prohibitive favorite at 1-2. So about fair odds according to our simulation odds. So you're still not getting totally screwed. But if you bet the 3-horse, your day is over already. The 2-horse has darted over to the lead along with that 5-horse in there. So interestingly, the closer, Sir Cupid, sitting right off the tail of the speed horse. To their outside, looks like the 8-horse is moved in there. The Great Pumpkin, Mr. Terry. And then the 4-horse, Jason Whiskey. As they come down around the bend early on, does look like the 2-horse continues to maintain the lead. Paco sitting right off. Going to put some pressure on that 2-horse. The question is, does he have enough speed as they go through the shade into the sun and around the corner? They stay in that order, although the 8-horse now, the Great Pumpkin, has found its way in front of the 4-horse. But he's going to go way wide up the track, so maybe open up the door for the 4 to come back in on him. The 5 and the 2 are really getting after it. I don't think Paco's asked the 5 to run yet. The 2 is really all out. Looks like the 5-horse is going to run right on by there, Mr. Terry, at 7-1. Question is, who's going to be your 3rd horse? What's that?
So that's what it looks like, and I think that has a lot to do with the jockey Paco Lopez.
Could be. You got a good run on there. So you're going to go 5, 2, 7, 6. That can't be the 6-horse because the 6-horse is not in the race. These just did that look like the 6 on the screen. Maybe it's, I don't know what it was. Maybe the 4-horse. I'm not sure. So anyway, 5, 2, 7. Both of us with the trifecta in our opening picks. I think. Who finished? Or is that the 8-horse? No, that's the 7. That's got to be the 4-horse down on there.
Yeah, I think it's the 4-horse. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I saw the yellow, so I thought that was the number 6. Okay, 5, 2, 7, and then 4 in the opener. All right, so let's move off to race number 2 real quickly, Mr. Terry.
All right.
See what the story is with the second race.
It's a 6-furlong race, $12,500 claimer, first $26,000 for 3-year-olds and upward.
All right, and again at 6 furlongs, we talked about the profile of a winner favoring tactical speed. We saw the first 2 go out front, stay out front in the opener. Wouldn't be surprised to see if speed holds up again. Inside out is the best way to go post position wise. Terry, where's the speed in the second race?
All right, as you look here, it's the 1-horse has the most speed, followed up by the 3. Although nobody has a lot of excess speed. The 2 shows an overlay from just under even money to 5-2, and the 2 also has the only par plus number, and then all but the 1 has C-zone numbers. Okay.
And then again here, looking at our early speed Q ranking, really maybe the 1-horse getting the advantage. Eagle Man there, tough to tell. Our top total pace picture, well, looks like nobody really wants to be a front runner. 2, 3, 6, and 7 have shown some versatility. They can move forward if necessary if the pace is too slow, and they all can be patient. This 5-horse wants to close. Just looking at our early figures here, Terry, only 2 points separating everybody but Harley's Charlie. So it could be anybody's guess who's going to get the lead early. This race probably comes down to the late speed, in which case it does look like the 2-horse and the 6-horse have the most, with the 2 being way out in front. It's also your top total pace horse in here, Terry, by, I don't know what I just did there. All right. Top total pace horse by 6 points. So super flyover. should maybe sit in that stalking position and just run by everybody at the end. Terry, is that how you see it?
I like the number one horse, Eagle Man. Finished third versus similar in his last race as a favorite, but has a high percentage winning trainer. And this trainer wins 30% of the races when bringing back a beaten favorite. And the Royal Post is winning at a 20% clip. And then 2 Super Flyovers, my second choice. He finished second in his last race. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Mischievous Jones, the 7 is my third choice. Won his last race at Parx Racing. Has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then I like the 6 is my long shot, Harley's Charlie. He likes Parx Racing. He's finished in the money 62% of the time here at Parx and won 15% of those races. Distance won't cause a problem. Has been in the money 100% of the time and run 38% of the races. I'm going to play the pick 4, the 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to use the 1 with the 1, 2, 3, 6 with the 2, 4, 7. Finish up with the 7, 8. As you said, that's a $12 ticket.
Yes, I also decided to do my 1, 2, 3, 4 here, but a little bit different order. I'm going to go with the 1 horse Eagle Man as well. You can't ever overlook the combination of Jamie Ness and Meccal Sanchez. High percentage winner, high percentage jockey. Usually putting one of the better horses out there. This Par Plus, 68% for Super Flyover, is the most consistent horse in the race. But my thing is he's got limited upside and downside. So if a horse pops a big race, might not be able to get to it. Enforcer, the 3 horse. This one's making the 3rd start after a layoff. The last time this horse made a 3-race cycle, that 3rd race, the horse absolutely exploded for a career best performance. Let's see if it can repeat that. And then the 7, Mischievous Jones, just needs to rerun its last race. I think this one is the widest open of the quartet in that early pick 4. So I'm going to start with my 4 horses. I'm going to single the 6 in the next level. Interesting that was your deepest level. And then the 5, 7 for me in the 3rd leg. And then I'm going to close it out with the 2, the 7, and the 11 for my $12 1, 2, 3 pick 4. Race number 3 begins the horse racing contests over at Horse Tourney. So Terry and I, in addition to our picks, we'll tell you which ones we like at the for the contests, what we would play. Terry, what are they going to run for?
Okay, it's a 6 furlong race, claiming $7,500 claiming price, purse $21,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 3 races.
Yeah, so the first 3 races, all 6 furlongs. We've established that early speed does pretty well. Saw that in the opening race. You want to be a little bit more to the inside than the outside, if preferable, but not deal killers. Terry, who's going to have the lead in the 3rd race?
All right, if you take a look here, that 2, 7, and 1 all show some speed. So it's really one of those anyone's guess race who's going to get that quarter pole first. The 1 has an overlay from about 8 to 5 to 5 to 2. 7 has an overlay from about 8 to 5 to 6 to 1. None of them show Par Plus numbers, and all but the 3 and 4 show C zones.
Our good friend Horse Racing 2024 says take the Aztec Bay horse. That's his play. Our trip handicapping will show us that really, again, nobody wants to get to the lead. 2 and 7, they're the most forward. 1, 3, 5, 6 want to close. So far, Dune Jumper hasn't found its way to within 5 lengths of the winner up to the last 10 races. Early on, Dune Jumper does look like it's the quickest of the bunch, along with Aztec Bay. A little bit of a drop off, but really not much difference from top to bottom. 2 lengths, so you get bumped, you get wide. Could be the difference between being first and worst. At the end, All Hail Mo and Be Like Beth, they'll definitely be the first in terms of late legs. They're at least a length better than the rest of the crew and should be involved with the pace here as well. Top total pace horse, you got 4 of them again standing out. Not really a lot, but still a little bit better than the rest. 7, 1, 3, and 2. Terry, likely to produce your winner. Produce your winner.
I like the 6, Dorothy's the Boss. She's won her last race at Parx Racing, has a highest last race speed rating, has a high percentage winning jockey, and a good workout on August 10th. The 1, Be Like Beth is my second choice. She finished 3rd versus similar in her last race. Rail Post winning 20% clip, and she has a trainer wins 18% of the claiming races he has a horse competing in. The 2, Aunt Vera, is my 3rd choice. She likes Parx Racing, finishing the money in 58% of the races, winning 17% of the races. The distance will not be a problem, and as she's finishing in the money 89% of the races. I like the 3 Hail Mary, All Hail Mary.
Mo.
No, All Hail Mo. She finished third in her last race. Throw out the race before her, she clipped hills, so she lost all chance and finished poorly. But she's been improving each race since June 18th. And then the 5 Angelic Storm is my third choice. My long shot. She has a high percentage winning trainer, can improve while returning to a sprint, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters.
So you have the 6, 1, 2, 3.
6,
and
1.
then you have the 5, and so you have me completely confused.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, it should be the 6, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so that's where we're at. All right, so the 5 is your first alternate then.
Yeah, it is. I'm sorry.
All right. Yeah, no, that's okay.
Yeah, and then I like the 3 as my contact pick. This is a wide open race, and I think the race sets up for a closer, and I think that she's going to close at the end there, get the money. Then my alternate, as you see, is a 6.
All right, so for me in race number 3, I'm going to start off with the 6 horse. Dorothy's the Boss, just as well. This one showed signs of life in its last race, so some in-race improvement. Actually ended up being the top last race speed figure, 4 points better than the next closest horse, according to Andrew Beyer. Any horse that runs 3 points higher than any of the others in that race is one that you have to circle. So then I look to see if there's any reason to believe the horse will do better today, and the answer is yes. It ran a very strong workout since then, so should be more fit. All Hail Mo, the one Terry put at the top of his contest, showed a lot more enthusiasm in the last half mile of its last race, and has beaten plenty of these too along the way. Number 1, Be Like Beth, which looks like it's your post-time favorite, Top C Zone. It's also our simulated favorite, tied with the 7 in there. Last win came off the sidelines, just like today. And I'm going to go with Aunt Barrow, the 2 horses, my final choice. And your tough call over Horse Player 2024's 7 horse Aztec Bay, but is catching a 10-pound weight break today. And at this distance, the horse has been in the money 8 out of 9 races. Hasn't won any of them, 5 seconds and 3/3, but it's clearly strong enough at the distance to consider at the back end of your exactas and your trifectas. As for me, I'm going to go with the 6 and the 3 in the contest. It just kind of worked out that way for me on a lot of the races today, that my top pick is actually going to make it into the contest. Race number 4 is the 4th race in a row, Terry, at 6 furlongs.
Yeah, it is. And it's a maiden claiming race, $40,000 claiming price. Purse $32,000 for maidens and fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward.
Again, early speed, preferably to the inside, is the way to go. Terry, again, we're always looking for some speed. And in race number 4, who's got all the gas at the giddy up?
All right, if you look here, the 6 shows a lot of speed, and so does the 3. So I think they're going to go head-to-head going to the quarter pole. And then let's see, the 7 has the 2, 6 and the 2. And the 7 has an overlay of about, 3 to 5, 2 to 1. There's no par plus numbers. 7, 3, and 6 show the C zones.
All right, so I'm taking a look at this speed here, Terry. I'm a little bit concerned because neither one of us has the 3 or the 6 in our picks, and both of them have those high scores, but it is a maiden race, so you can put a little bit of doubt on those numbers, if you will. Race shape, the 3 horse does want to get to the front. Chance occurrence. So far, the 2 has not been within 5 lengths of the leader at the finish line. 4 and 5 going to give it a go for the first time. 1 wants to close. 6 and 7 want to co-pilot. So everybody all over the place on the track. It does look like the 6, well, pretty much any of them except the 1 horse with a chance to get to the lead. So the 1, Bossy Kate, will have to close to find its way home. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case for the 1. Should be in the mix at the end, but so far back. Can Do This has the most late speed. It's 2 lengths. Every 5 points is roughly 1 length. So this one looks like it's about 2 lengths faster than everybody down the stretch. That one is your top total pace horse, Terry, notwithstanding anything that the first two first-timers do today. So according to this, if you're going to go with an experienced horse, Can Do This is the one to do. Terry, which one did you do?
I went with a first-time starter, the 4, G Charlie. She's a first-time starter whose dam has 2 winners from 5 starters. Her breeding suits today's sprint distance, and she has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 27% of the races when debuting a horse in a maiden claiming race, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Then I like that 7 Can Do This. She should improve while returning to the dirt, as she has the best dirt speed among today's starters, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I like Flag Runner, the 2, which my third choice. She ran second in her only start. She has a couple of bullet workouts in a row prior to that race. And then number 1, Bossy Kate, finished third in her last race. The rail post winning 20% clip. She has a good jockey. She's my long shot. I'm going to play the no favorites pick 4. I'm going to use the 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7 with the 1, 7, with the 1, 5, 4, and 8, with the 1, 2, which is a $48 pick. And my contest pick is the 4. 2-year-olds, anything can happen. And this 4 checks off a lot of the boxes as you saw. And then I like the 7 as my second, as my alternate pick.
So our contest picks are over here, so you'll see them as well as we move along. I'm going to go ahead in the 4th race. I'm going to go with Sky Baby. You went with one front for first timer. I'm going to go with the other first timer. Well, no, that's not true. I'm going to go with the 5. Is this one? Oh yeah, no, this is a first time start. I don't know. Only the 7 horse in here Can Do This has shown that the horse can find a par level for this level, and that's being a 78. So one of its first 2 time starters. This one I think has the best shot. It does have that back bullet workout, meaning it wasn't the most recent one. 4 furlongs, 47 and 2. I think that's a pretty fast workout. Can Do This. The 7 horse is that horse that's come pretty close to par in here. Well bet in both of its starts. I got a feeling this one's going to be a pretty heavy favorite in there. Number 2, Flag Runner, is my third choice. Second race improvement should be enough, but that's kind of borderline to me because the horse ran at Penn, is dropping from a maiden special weight, and I'm not the biggest fan of Penn to Parx shippers. You watch long enough, you know that. And then the 4 horse is the other first timer. Quite frankly, minus the 5 and the 7, maybe even the 2, really nothing else to beat in this race. I'm going to do just a standard pick 4, 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 all the way across. And I'm actually going to make the 5 horse in here. Well, we'll see. I don't think I'm going to make it my 10, 20 horse. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Race 5 is what we're going to do next. Terry, what's happening in race number 5?
Okay, the race number 5 is 7.5 furlongs. So we're going to move out to that, but it's not going to be run on the turf as they've taken all the turf races off.
Yes. So it's a mile.
Run in a 1 mile. Beg your pardon?
Yeah, I was just saying it's a 1 mile race now.
Yeah, it's going to be run at 1 mile now, and it's a optional claiming race for $16,000 claiming price, purse $25,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for $16,000 or less, and which have never won 2 races, or a claiming price of $16,000, and which have never won 2 races.
Well, we don't really have any data on the 1 mile, but my recollection is that at Parx, speed is the way to go at a mile. I don't remember if it's inside or outside, but I think it's going to be fairly favored to the inside because they're going to get to that turn pretty quick. So maybe a little bit of inside speed in race number 5. You got a ton of scratches in here, Terry. Most of the speed scratched out. One of them is going to have a pretty big edge now with all of the other ones sidelined.
Yeah, all the other speeds out, as you said, so that 11 should get there if it gets a good break and can outbreak the inside horses. The 2 shows an overlay from about 6 to 5 to 15 to 1, really nice. 2, 7, and 8 show the par plus numbers, and the 1, 2, 13, 6, 7, and 11 all have C zones.
Yes, and we're looking for 50% scores, and most of them have more than 50%. 50 meaning half of the time the pace sets up today to mirror their best performances. We take away the look that we're going to run on the track. You got 4 that want to be forward, these 2 in the middle, these 4 in the back. This shape should favor because it's a little more weighted towards the back. The early speed types, that's the case. Look out for the 11 horse. That one's got a 6-point advantage over everybody else. So if it can clear that 1 and the 2, maybe even the 7, it could get a pretty easy lead. I don't know if it can hang on to it, but Ira the Icon, that one has about a 1.5 length late speed edge over everybody else. And really, except for the 11 and maybe a couple of others, should be pretty much middle pack in this race. Your top total pace horses are the 2 and the 8, along with the 7 and 11. And then you got a pretty substantial drop off after that. So just maybe take these 4, box them up in an exacta, trifecta, superfecta, and maybe you walk away with a winning ticket, Terry. What do you think?
All right. Well, in this one, I like the number 7, Check It Up. He ran second versus similar in his last race, has a high percentage winning trainer and a high percentage winning jockey. Ira the Icon, the 8's my second choice, finished in the money in 2 of his last 4 races, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Then I like the 1 is my third choice, Hey, What's Up? He has a high percentage winning trainer, and he has a high percentage winning jockey as well. Then the 13, Tio Tony. He was an alternate, but it got in. He has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 24% of the races when shipping a horse in to run, and he gets Paco Lopez in the irons. And then that's going to be the 7's going to be my pick of the day. I'm going to bet 10 to win, 20 to place on that. And my pick for the contest is the 7. This horse shows it can be competitive today's distance and really has a great jockey and trainer. So, and as you can see, my 13 is my alternate in there.
I'm going to start with the 7 horse here too. Check It Up. That one checks off the top mark in my box. Just missed at this level in its last race. And I think cutting back in distance today is going to prove to be helpful, the difference maker. Humble Joe, there's that big long shot in there, Terry, with an overlay on there. All he's got to do is rerun his last start, and I think it'd be good enough. I think the odds were so high because they're uncertain what he's going to do on turf. I think we're pretty certain what he's going to do on dirt. Number 11, Titanium Wreckage. That one now has an aggressive early speed advantage over everybody else. That score here clearly has to go up over 30 right now. And then I think you're going to see that one get to the front. The only question is, can it hold on at the end? If it does, maybe a price horse. Tio Tony was a tough call for me over Ira the Icon, which looks like it is going to be the morning line favorite in there. I'm going to go with Paco Lopez with another solid ride in there as well, because this horse does have some solid workouts prepping. I do feel like with that 3-week hiatus, horses that had some workouts in the middle there might prove to be a bit more fit than those that haven't. Race number 6 is next up for us, Terry. And this 10 race card, what's going on here?
All right, in race number 6, let's see, it's a mile and 70 yards, a claiming race, $10,000 claiming price, purse $26,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since May 19th. Claiming races for $8,000 or less not considered, and which have never won 4 races.
Yes, to get that 4th W at a mile and 70 yards, you got to be pretty fast. Almost 4 out of 10 win wire to wire. That's a big number in there. And the post positions, by and large, play fair. A little bit of a discount on the rail, maybe a little bit of a discount 4 through 7, but really nothing major. So post position doesn't really matter. Speed probably does matter, Terry, in the 6th race. And we find one again that has a great chance to get forward.
That's right. That 2 horse has lots of speed in here compared to the rest of them, so it should get to that front first. Then the 4 has an overlay from about almost 8 to 1 to 10 to 1. The 5 has an overlay from about 4 to 5 to 4 to 1. The 8 has a very small overlay. It's 5 to 1 to 6 to 1. And the 5, 6, and 8 show par plus numbers, and all the horses have C zones.
Indeed, they do. And looks like to me pretty balanced effort in here in terms of ability. So a lot of different ways you could probably go. Looking at this, though, the way you probably want to go is early speed. Again, most everybody wants to be middle back. So be on the front or maybe be in a great stalking position, and you probably have a really good chance to win this race. La Cienega, La Mosco, Obstinate, Classy Miss. Well, you got this group right in here. So quite a few should get that nice stalking trip, with the 2 likely on the inside taking early advantage, especially with the 1 horse not showing it wants to be elite, preferring to close. So expect the 2 to go out early on. Caddy LaBelle, Dixie Groove, those 2 will be coming at the end with the most. Looks like Dixie Groove better scoot a little bit up early on if it wants to use those late legs. But again, not a big difference between the top 4 in there. So early positioning will matter, especially where a lot of horses go wire to wire. The closer, Caddy LaBelle, does have along with Classy Miss, the stalker. Top total pace score, Terry, but minus the 7 horse. Everybody else is within 2 lengths. So again, trip is going to be important here, Terry. Who gets the trip to the winner's circle in your view?
I like the one Magnificent Pearl. She likes Parx Racing as she's finishing the money 80% of the time, winning 30% of the races. The distance won't be a problem. She's finishing the money 70% of the time and won 30% of the races. Dixie Groove, the 8 is my second choice. Finished in the money in the last 7 races, winning 3 of the starts, and has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. And then the 7 is my third choice, drops in class today, best dirt speed as fast as among today's starters, and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then the 5 is my long shot, finished third versus similar in the last race, has the highest last speed rating, switches to high percentage winning jockey, and has the highest speed figure at today's distance. Mine gonna be my contest pick. It's gonna be the 1. The horse is always in the mix and is trained by Jamie Ness and ridden by Frankie Pennican, which is a really good combination. And then, as you can see here, let's see, in the 6th, the 8 is my alternate.
Mm-hmm. In the 6th race, I'm going to go off and pick the 5 horse as my first pick. Classy Miss is my selection because should sit right off the pace in this group. Paco Lopez rides the horse. I think we could see what we saw in the first race, just sit right off the front runners there and then use the late legs to come on home. I'm a bit worried about a peak race last out. Magnificent Pearl, Jamie Ness, and Frankie Pennington there, and usually a dynamic duo with a horse that's very strong at the distance. 10 races out, in the money 7 times, 3 wins, 3/3, and a second split in those 2. Put the horse at any other distance since only won 1 time in 10 races. Caddy LaBelle, this one should sit mid-pack, does have that strong leg pace, Terry. I think it gets up maybe enough to scare the top 2. La Cienega, best chance to go wire to wire at a distance where 4 out of 10 do just that. Only problem is this one needs a little bit more weight, a little bit more late run. Perhaps a weight break can help it carry its speed a little bit longer today. I went with the 1 horse 2 at the top of my picks here for the contest, Terry. Just because of that distance thing, I don't know. I was really thinking about putting the 5 up there with Paco, but I really am concerned about a peak race. And if the horse does peak out, then it could tail off a bit at the end. So we got a little bit of time before race number 2. Before we go off to race number 2, as always, we have some free picks today down in the description below. You can get them for Louisiana Downs. Right there, you see it's the free track today at Louisiana Downs. No update on the track conditions yet, but 3 scratches. I felt like when we were doing the handicapping there for tomorrow, that race offers some good value with some horses that look like they got a good chance to win. When the show is over, we will put all of our race notes along with a replay of the video at horseracingtoday.net. Again, a link down in the description below. Kindly head on over there. And then when you're at Horse Racing Today, you see that HRT gear in the menu. If you click on that, it'll take you to our merchandise, our drip page, so to speak. Get yourself a nice See You in the Winter Circles hat. Today, the last day to get 15% off. You can change colors. You can customize. I'm not so sure I dig that. I think the white looks pretty good, though. Terry, what do you think?
Yeah, I like the white one. That's my favorite.
Yeah, my only problem with the white one would be it would be probably for me dirty and no time flat.
That's right. Same with mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because when I play golf or something, I get my hands dirty. I rub my hat, rub my shorts, just put my hands everywhere. All right, so race number 2, they're heading into the gates. Okay. You can see right here. This is our 1, 2, 3, pick 4. According to the bettors, the 1 horse, Terry's Eagle Man, his single is the even money favorite for Jamie Ness and Ruben Silvera. I have the 2, 3, and 7 in there, and quite frankly, I'm kind of hoping for the 3 horse to find the winner circle in there, Enforcer. But whenever I pick a lot of horses, usually the favorite wins.
Hey, Horse Racing 2024 wants to know if Arnold Palmer's grave is on the golf course in La Trobe.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't think so.
All right.
It could be.
He also challenged me to lose weight. He said he's 320 pounds, but he'll lose weight by eating beets and garbanzo beans in salad and go to Planet Fitness, or he'll do the Jordan Peterson carnivore diet. And I'm going to say I'm always trying to lose weight, so I've tried all kinds of stuff. I'm good at 2 weeks, and then after about 2 weeks, I lose my willpower.
Yeah, I know it's tough. I wrestled in high school and college, and I lost so much weight back in those days. I swore to myself I would never diet again. So basically, what I've done is the intermittent fasting. I don't do the dieting there. It looks like they're having some issue in race number 2. There's a deer running around, a baby deer.
Yeah.
Just kind of floating around the track. So while they figure out what to do with that deer, let's figure out what we're going to do in race number 7, Terry. And I'll keep an eye out on the track and see if they start loading.
Let's do that. And in race 7, it's 7 furlongs, maiden race, a $50,000 purse for maidens, fillies, 2-year-olds.
7 furlongs does favor horses that can get some early speed, tactical speed, probably more important, be middle forward, but 21% still go wire to wire. There is an inside 3 edge, 4 and out, get a penalty. So at Parx, for these babies, inside speed, some of them, data's kind of iffy because a lot of them haven't really done a whole lot so far. But from what we have, Terry, it does look like 2 of them are the ones to run down at some point.
That's right. That 2 and that 3 have similar speed, so they could go head-to-head to that quarter pole. 3 has an overlay from about 3 to 5 to 5 to 2, and the 4 has an overlay from 7 to 1 to 8 to 1. None of them show par plus numbers, and 2, 3, and 4 show this only C zones.
And as far as our race shape is concerned for these babies in race number 7, you can see the 2 horse wants to get out. The 1 horse closed, 3, 4, 7, and 8, not within 5 lengths of the leader. The 5 and 6 are going to start. So it sure looks like if that 2 horse can get to the lead, Mischief Maxi, but 5 aside will keep it company in there as well, as will Maximus Angelicus. The end of the race for these babies, the 4, the 8, and the 3 have the most late speed. Of those, 5 aside is going to be the most forward. Your top total pace horse here is the 3 horse, 5 aside. That one's about, 6 points clear. So according to that, the 3 horse should finish well within 5 lengths. In fact, should be about a length and a half ahead of everybody at the finish line. Terry, what do you think?
All right, in this race here, I like this 2 horse, Mischief Maxi. Finished 3rd versus Tougher in her last race, drops in class today. Her best dirt speed is fast among today's starters. She has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 20% of the dirt races, is a horse in, and he has a high percentage winning jockey and a trainer, or she does. And then number 3, 5 aside. She ran 2nd versus similar only start, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. Number 1 is my 3rd choice. She has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 24% of the maiden special weight races he has a horse in, and a high percentage winning jockey. Not too late. The 4 is my long shot. Drops in class today, and she has a couple of good bullet workouts in a row. I'm going to play a normal pick 4. I'm going to use the 1, 2, 3 with the 1, 6, 13 with the 1, 3, 4, 7 with the 2, 3, 4, $54 ticket. And then contest pick is number 2. And then besides that, I like the 4 as my alternate.
So I'm going to go here in this leg. They're loading up, so I'll go quick here. I'm going to go with Mischief Maxi as well with my pick in race number 7. Just missed in her debut at Parx. That was at this level. Went to Saratoga for the 2nd start for a maiden special weight, 80,000. So maybe they thought they had something, maybe not enough to compete at Saratoga for 80 grand. 5 aside is your morning line favorite right in there, Terry. Any second race improvement would be borderline good enough to perhaps win. Number 4, not too late. The park workouts are too fast to ignore. The racing on the track has not been anywhere near as good as that. So if you get off to a better start, maybe those workouts will translate to the track. And then finally, boy, Mama is great and strong. There you go. That's a first-time starter as well that does have a back bullet workout. So the horse might have some talent. I'm going to do my no favorite pick 4 here. I'm going to probably regret it in the last leg, but 1, 2, 4, 5 with the 1, 6, with the 1, 4, 7, with the 2, 4, 5, and 6. Race number 2, it looks like they are Starting to load, Mr. Terry,
And
but ever so slowly.
I can also tell Horse Racing 2024 that Arnold Palmer's ashes were spread across the Latrobe Country Club in Pennsylvania, in the same area where his wife Winnie had her ashes spread 17 years ago.
Ah, how about that? So I know Latrobe, Pennsylvania, home of Rolling Rock beer and the grave of Arnold Palmer, as well as that's where he's born, right? His rise to fame.
Yep.
On those cow patches in Pennsylvania. I played golf out there when I was out there last week at a course called the Country Club of the Poconos. It used to be a country club, I guess. I don't know. A lot of really nice houses around, but there was 14 miles of cart path. So you can't walk that course. You had to take a cart. When the guy came up to the cart, he popped it open, looked at it. He goes, you can't do this course with an electric cart or with a cart that's not full with gas. Lots of hills, some holes that had like 200-300-foot drops. It's pretty wild. Wow. All right, race number 2, they're off and running. Mr. Terry, the one horse at 6-5, has sauntered to the early lead. Eagle Man, a lot of horses right up on its tail right there. The 22 and 83, so not the fastest of the opening quarters. The jockey on the one horse is trying to pull away, although the 7 horse, is that the 7 or the 3? The 3 horse is getting involved in me. A lot of pressure on that horse. It looks to me like the 2 horses getting a really good run.
Yeah, the 6 is kind of closing on that outside, so he's a long shot, so who knows? Mm-hmm. But I don't know that the one's going to get caught.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it right about now. No, he's just going to run away with it. Yep, unless these other horses can switch strides somewhere down the leg here, but they're not. They're just all flattening out. So 6-5, Terry's solo shot, getting the win. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and then the 6. 1, 2, 3. So another trifecta, but that's not going to pay anything whatsoever at all.
No.
And the one horse going off at 6-5. So I burned up my 4. Terry only burned up his 1. So very wise choice for his single on the 1, 2, 3, 4. Pick 4. Something that we introduced today, where you get 1 horse in one leg, 2 horses in another leg, 3 horses in the third leg, and then 4 horses in one leg. I used up my 4 there, and wouldn't you know? When I use my 4, Terry, the favorite at 6-5 would win.
Yeah.
That's where it always goes.
It always does.
All right, race 8. We got to get through 8, 9, and 10 before race number 3 starts for the contest. What's cooking here?
Okay, it was on the turf. Now it's off the turf. It's a 1-mile race now, and it's an optional claiming race, a $30,000 claiming price. First, 28,000 fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for $30,000 or less, and which have never won 3 races, or a claiming price of $30,000, or which have never won 3 races.
And at a mile, we haven't gotten any data, but again, I expect inside speed to be the way to go, Terry. If there is inside speed bias, so a lot of speed scratched out.
Yep,
one of them is going to get to the front.
That's right. That 6 horse has all the speed in the world. Compared to the rest of them, the 1 has an overlay from about 8.5 to 1 to 10 to 1. 6, 1, 13, and 10 show par plus numbers, and 3 has the best C-zone.
All right, so that has the best C-zone in there. It looks like we got almost a borderline gringo horse with sing along, except for them odds there. Still, considering all the scratches, probably going to be one of your choices in there by the bettors. In the 8th race, kind of balanced race. You got a couple of horses here in the middle that you got to keep an eye on, with the 1 and the 3 being Sesame Street horses, unlike any of the others. The beginning of the race, Terry, boy, it sure looks like it's anybody's guess who's going to get the lead. Sing along Kayla a little bit quicker than everybody else. The 1 horse probably to the inside. It's most competition for the lead, although the 1 is an EP type. Summer at the Shore doesn't need the lead, so could be patient. At the end of the race, again, very competitive for your total pace, and there on your late speed and total pace, although the 6 and the 1 are 5 points clear of everybody else. So maybe those are the 2 to pick in a wide open race, Terry. Which are your top 2?
I like the 1, Summer at the Shore. She finished in the money in her last 8 races, winning 2 of the starts. So she's very competitive, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then I like the 13 Gun Running Gal. She ran second versus Similar in her last race, and she has a high percentage, has a good workout on August 11th. Then Sing Along Kayla, the 6, my 3rd choice. She finished 3rd versus Similar in her last race. She may improve at the shorter distance and has a high percentage winning trainer wins 24% of the races in the first start with the trainer. And then she, number 3, So Fully Sue is my long shot. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey and a good 4 furlong workout on August 12th. My contest pick is the 1. I think this horse, I know this horse has won 2 out of the last 3 races, so it just could come back and win another one. And as you see, my 13 is my second my alternate. So.
And as for me in race number 8, I'm going to go ahead and start off with that 6 horse in here. It's a wide open race. I think that's the one that's probably got a shot to be on the lead. It's coming from Tampa to Philly. I don't know if that's a track drop, track rise, or what, but I do know a lot of those horses come off of that sandy track in Tampa fit. Some are at the shore. The one horse, a little bit of racing luck, could be on a 6-race winning streak. Did show some improved early pace last out, which is an indication of a horse coming to form. Number 13, Gun Running Girl. That's your morning line favorite, so I couldn't use it in my pick 4. Did run some better fractions last time out. So most consistent performer in the race. And then finally, Volatility, the 10 horse, was a tough call for me over the 9 horse, Miss 66. But I think this one could be a little bit more forward in a wide open race, and they have similar late speed. So being forward, better position could be helpful. I went ahead in my contest, went with the 6 and the 1 as my top 2 picks, the 1 being the alternate, and the 6 hopefully gets to the front and goes wire to wire. 2 races to go on this return to Money Monday at Parx. A little bit different distance to this time around, Terry.
Yeah, it's 6.5 furlongs, optional claiming race, $25,000 claiming price for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have started for a claiming price of $25,000 or less, or which have never won a race other than a maiden or a claiming, or which have never won 4 races, or a claiming price of $25,000, which have never won 4 races.
At 6.5 furlongs, the profile of your typical winner is one with tactical speed. 33% of the time, the horses go wire to wire. There is a little bit of a rail bonus. Inside, better than outside. So rail bonus, some early speed playing a big factor, Terry, in the 9th race. Again, we're looking for horses that can giddy up and go with the 8 horse out. It's a big guess.
Yeah, well, that 6 and that 1 show the most speed, which is not a heck of a lot of speed, but they show the most, and they should go ahead and head to the quarter pole. The 3 has an overlay from 3.5 to 1 to 5 to 1, and the 5 has an overlay from 3 to 1 to 10 to 1. All but the 6 show C zones, and all of the horses have some kind of all but the 6 shows a par plus, and all the horses have C zones, but the 7 is pretty low.
As far as our race shape, in the 9th race, the beginning of the late pick 4, everybody kind of wants to be in the middle, Terry, except for the 7. The closer in the mix. Again, you get this sort of shape. It can benefit horses that can get to the front. Smokin' Holiday on the rail, a little bit quicker than everybody else. So Smokin' Holiday is probably the horse that's going to set the early pace. At the end, they all have some similar late speed, Terry. So, again, early positioning probably going to be key to this race. Our top total pace horse in here, a few points better than everybody, is Smokin' Holiday. Although you only have, 8 points from first to worst. That means pretty much a bump, a bad break, some kind of block as you come through. You got to check. You could finish first. You could finish worst. This looks like a pretty open race, Terry. Who's your winner?
Well, I like the 4. I don't see colors. He won his last race, and he has a high percentage winning jockey and a good workout on August 12th. I like 3, Swing Oil. Finished in the money in his last 3 races, winning 2 of the starts. He has a high percentage winning trainer. The 7, North Pole, likes Parx Racing, finishing in the money 63% of the races, winning 16% of those. And the distance won't cause any problems. He's been in the money 60% of the time, winning 20% of the races. My long shot is the 1, Smokin' Holiday. He has won 2 out of the last 3 races. He has a high percentage winning jockey. My contest pick is the 3. He's been out, he has won 2 out of the last 3 races. And then, as you can see here, my 7 is the second alternate.
I'm going to put the 1 horse in here now that we have some chance to kind of go through. I'm going to make this my 10, 20 horse as we have, because we have $30 that we can put on any horse to do what we want. And I'm going to put, Terry likes to go 10 and 20. Explain why you like to go 10 and 20, Terry.
Well, because if the horse runs second, which happens to me quite a bit, and it pays enough, it usually pays for my bet. So, give me back my $30. And sometimes even a little more if it's not really a real favorite type morning line favorite. If it's like 4 or 5 to 1, it'll give you back a little more. So that helps.
I'm going to go with the one, Smokin' Holiday. This one's going to take over probably the lead here. It'll be right off the pace. Does have that strongest C-zone. That Q30 score is going to go up to about 30 points, I would suspect. Does get that rail bonus. In the last time this horse ran at Parx, absolutely demolished the field. Next up for me on that pick is going to be the 7-horse, North Pole. Drops in class, rerun its last race, and it's your winner. Number 1, I Don't See Colors. This one's an all or nothing type. 6 races out, 2 wins, nothing else in the other ones. This horse gets close to the front. It has a good shot. It has its best chance. With this field, it should be really close to the front. And then Mr. Sandman, the Metallica horse, is the morning line favorite, the biggest class dropper, and your most consistent in the race. Finally, race number 10, the final race of the day. Does look like we're going to get in all the picks before the contest starts. Speaking of which, my contest picks for race number 9 are the 1 is my top pick. So hold on a second. I got to go back over here. Picks. I do have the 1 and then the 7. Race 10, Terry, the last race on this Return to Money Monday. What do you see?
It's a 6 furlong race, claiming $5,000 claiming price, purse $18,000 for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since February 19th.
And then at 6 furlongs, we saw those. We'll see it in the first 4 races. Early speed, probably the best way to go. The horse in the opening race was the co-pilot. In race number 2, it was the pilot. So early speed is the way to go. Terry, at 6 furlongs, at least as we return from the break to Parx. And if early speed's going to get the job done, Terry, well, by golly, it looks like something you've never said could be the one up front.
That's right. The 5, it should really blast out of that starting gate and get to that quarter pole first. That 3 has an overlay from just under even money to 5 to 2. The 3 and 2 have par plus numbers, especially the 3, and all but the 1 shows C-zone numbers. And the Bahama Pearl has a nice Q30 along with the Rounds Mine.
All right, the Rounds Mine, what Terry has never said in his life. All right, so the last time today, we'll take a look at how they shake out on the track. Most of them want to be middle back. 5 with a little bit of versatility in there, too. This Round is Mine, that early speed type. So even though our projections say that one should be on the front, it's not lead dependent. That might fall to the 4, Bahama Pearl. The beginning of the race, the 5 is your quickest. Bahama Pearl, being lead dependent, probably jumps to the lead, makes the 5 take that shotgun position. They come down the stretch for home. Peace, Love, and Karma. That one's about 2 lengths faster than everybody else as the closer, but my golly, that one could be like off the screen when the race gets started. It's going to have to really come from worst to first. And then Castilla. That one is your top total pace horse. It is 7 points clear of Lulinda's Heart. It scares the living daylights out of me because, Terry, it is my no favorites pick 4, and it sure looks like that's going to be the one that wins to me.
Yeah, it might be. I like the 2 Shaka County as my first choice. She ran second versus similar in her last race. She has a highest last speed rating, has the highest speed rating at today's distance, and she has a bullet workout on August 12th. Then I like the 3. She switches to high percentage winning trainer. This trainer wins 31% of the races when dropping a horse off of a claim. And her best start speed is fast among today's starters. She has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. The 4 Bahama Pearl won her last race, has a high percentage winning trainer. And then Peace, Love, and Karma. The 1 is likes this distance. She's been in the money 5 out of 5 starts at the distance and won 2 of those. And she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I'm going to bet not bet, but my contest pick is the number 2. I think her last workout shows that she's ready to win a race.
All right. And finally, for me today, I'm going to start off with the 3 horse. I know I can't play it in my pick 4, but I can play it in my picks. That one is Castilla. I think that's how you pronounce that. It's a +7 total pace horse in here, Terry. Should get a really great trip and then just close them out at the end. If not, Bahama Pearl, that one is my second choice in there. At Parx, 9 times out. Hasn't won yet, but has found second and third 6 times combined. did show some improvement early in the race last time out, and then again late in the race. So perhaps we can see that carry over to today. This round's mine. Maybe the long shot upsetter in here, Terry. It does have that strong chance to get to the lead. It does have that top C-zone score and over 30 on that Q score. It does have that point, that 5-point early race edge too. So that one should be right up front where it wants to be. And then Shackelford County, this one is making the classic third start after layoff. Last time out, ran at this level and just missed. I'm going to go with the 3-horse at the top of my picks for the contest. So here are all of our picks for today. So far in the opening leg, Terry, who won the first? The 5-horse won the first leg, and then the 1-horse winning the second leg. Here's what we got for the rest of the day. If you're playing those horse tournaments, here are our first picks and then our alternatives right in there. Again, how they do it, $2 to win and place is how they keep score. They cap it out at 20-1 odds. So if you have like a 50-1 shot, you don't get the $102 in there. You just get $20, and I think 10 for second. I'm not 100% sure what they do for the place money. So we'll keep an eye on that and see how all that goes. Again, we have 1, 2, 3 pick fours. No favorite pick fours. A regular pick four today, a $10 and $20 horse. Terry, which is your favorite one to win? Race number 8, was it? 9?
Actually 5. Race 5.
Race 5, the 7?
The 7. Check it up.
Mm-hmm. And then for me, I went ahead and made mine in race number 9 with the 1-horse Smoking Holiday. I went 20 to win, 10 to show on mine. I played it the other way around. So we'll see how that goes in that respect. Again, free picks today at Louisiana Downs. A link in the description down below for our good friends at Guaranteed Tip Sheet, where I do most of, if not all of the handicapping. Over at horseracingtoday.net in just a few minutes, Terry will load up all of our comments and thoughts and picks for today, along with a replay of the race. We'll also timestamp in the description on YouTube all of the race times, so you come back and review them one by one as they're about to go. If there's something you wanted to hear us say, just wanted to look at the data, see who our picks are for the contest, and so on. And please head on over to our Horse Racing Today gear shop and get yourself this beautiful See You in the Winner's Circle white hat, which for me would go on a shelf because I can't wear a white hat. Tomorrow, Terry, we'll be back for Parx for the same stuff, but to make sure people don't miss our Parx show or anything else that we ever do, what should everybody do?
Well, they should subscribe to the our YouTube channel and hit the little bell so they're notified about all our programs. They should also copy the link below and share it with everybody they know so that they can come and check us out too. Go to our social sites such as X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and Horse Race, the number 2 day. Give us thumbs up and or likes. That'll really help us out with the algorithms. And also give us comments and picks as Horse Racing 2024 is done today. That also helps us out.
1,000%. Any interactivity helps us a ton with the algorithmic scores. We appreciate that. We also appreciate you spending your Money Monday with Terry and I. We certainly hope that we all treat each other the way we want to be treated, and that whatever life goals you're chasing, they are filled with God's favor and blessings, and that every single thing you do for the rest of this Money Monday till we get back together for Parx again mañana for terrific Terry Tuesday ends up in our favorite place,
the Winner's Circle.
Yes, indeed. Like the hat says, see you in the Winner's Circle, and see you tomorrow.